I guess the music didn't run out at the same time as our intro ran out. Totally professional program we got going on here, but hi everybody. It's a very messy Monday.
Hello.
And yeah, we are here. I thought Dana was supposed to be here. He's not. And Chris couldn't make it. And Matthew's not feeling well tonight. So we all wish Matthew to feel better and get well soon. And oh, I just heard a beep. Is that it is. It's Dana rolling in at the last minute.
Cut it close.
I'll let him click his own button. He knows how to click the button. But there he is.
But look at this.
Magnus fell off the internet, but he came back. So I was just saying hello to everybody.
Hello.
And in the chat, we've got Waxplat, Battery Power Bricks, Moto, Entertainingly Lame, Steve Jogan, alternate candidates. Hello to everybody in the chat. And we had some really great discussion going on pre-show that everybody was talking about building and their building ideas. And
use all of our words up. So
getting ready for shows. So if you guys could just repeat all of that now that we're live, so everybody can hear the fun discussion that we were having, that'd be great.
That makes me feel even better for being late. So then I can only have to hear it once.
We only have to hear you once, so it all works out.
Ooh, touche, mon cher.
Wow, got him.
We were discussing that some people have scope creep problems on their mocks. Talking again about how to get more people psyched for New Hashima 2025 because it will not be at Brick World this weekend. Sorry, y'all. What else?
Oh, it's not happening at Brick World. I'm sorry. It's not. New Hashima is not happening at Brick World this year.
Correct.
No.
I see. Okay.
The intention was that it was a 10-year anniversary of the original Brolug Cyber City collab from Brick Fair 2013. But a lot of people still are excited about it. I mean, Stefan still builds for it for his own sector. So Brian has been building infrastructure for an inner city, and we will have 2 additional sectors. And we're trying to get all new stuff. So I will not be bringing any part of New Hashima that was seen at Brick World 2023. And that's kind of what we want folks to do. And Ted Andes, he's back on board again, and he wants to build something new. So, and we're going to have a mech hangar because we got Connor Lill signed on here in Atlanta. So he's the mech man. So we're going to have like a mech hangar base area that's like going to defend the city. So it's going to be a little different. It's not going to be quite just, hey, everyone bring your cube back. We want people to bring new stuff. But I think everyone also wants a break this year. I'm actually going to go to Park Drafts.
Enjoy the con for once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, people have been asking that it's not coming this year. So sorry, everyone.
Yeah, I was looking on the schedule for it. I'm like, I don't see it anywhere. Did they just label it something different? But it's not there.
Nope.
I
have to go find my
Eurolug will be happy because they'll win the collaborative build. In theory.
I think a lot of
we'll give them this year. We'll give them this year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of lugs that are happy that I have a chance to win something this year.
Well, usually Eurobricks takes home the best large collab.
Yeah.
And we're almost neighbors this year, Meredith.
Yes, I will be splitting my time between Friendship Timber and Orphan Lug. Again, what was I saying? I don't know. I'm blanking out again because I'm an old woman, and my hair is starting to look like what's the guy's name? The comedian from Eastbound and Down. He has a really curly mullet.
Oh yeah.
I got off topic.
It's like a James or a John or a Jim.
I was thinking John Lovitz, but maybe not.
Danny McBride.
Danny.
Danny
Danny.
McBride, yes. I'm starting to have a Danny McBride crawl it, so I feel like a crazy old lady.
Oh my.
But you have hair.
Yes. Be happy you have hair. You know what's interesting about the collaborative, though, and just collaboratives in general, is that when Peach Lug came to Chicago the first time, we had no idea that we could even register our collaborative build for the moon base. It wasn't even a concept to us. We were just like, we're just showing up to build and put it together and have some fun.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, I guess we could have registered this, but we didn't. So. And I saw that, or Steve saw and pointed out to me that there is a moon base that will be at Brickworld this year, a collaborative, which is cool and exciting. I did not know that. I'm kind of bummed that we're not going to be there to help and add to it. But at the same time, I'm glad that I wouldn't be there setting it up. But it would be cool to see somebody else doing it. So I'm excited for them.
It is a lot of work to set up these big things. I mean, I went to people who've seen me at Brick Fair in Northern Virginia know I for years have been showing up with enough modular landscaping to cover 4 or more tables, and
By yourself.
And it's ridiculous, and it's the only time in the year I use that. So I feel like I should put it out, and it looks a little different each time. And it's a place where we can do wargaming, and it's a place where I can put my marks and take pictures of stuff. But it's so much work. It's like 8 hours setup. And I did went to Brick Fair in Fredericksburg, which was like a much smaller Brick Fair in the spring.
Mhm.
And I just bought a lot less stuff. It was so nice. Like setup was like an hour. It was like
fun,
this is how the other half lives.
Yeah.
And
The other 90.
a lot of the the other 95% of normal people are. And a lot of my regular friends who come to Brick Fair, Virginia are people in sort of the military building community, and many of them live abroad, and for whatever reason most of them can't make it this year. So I think maybe this year at Brick Fair, Virginia, Nova, I'm going to bring a lot less than I usually do. And I think a lot of the table space I fill up will be more on the castle side of things than the military side of things, just to
Change your pace.
Yeah, and the castle theme at Brick Fair, Virginia is, I've always felt like,
Lacking.
I mean, there are always some very, very large things there, but it's not quite as active as I remember it being back in the day when in the original Brickfest, when we just had it was one of the big themes within Lego, kind of castle and space and a bit of pirate and town.
So, Magnus, you can weigh in on this, and I know Mark, you definitely can weigh in on this, and for that matter, so could Jeff, for that matter. It feels like the Lego community is a little cyclical. That there are rises and falls of different themes, different things that happen. It's almost like we see. Certain things that were in vogue become out of vogue. What's up, Rich? And we'll see certain people just kind of step away for a little bit. And then after a little bit of time, we see them come back, and then we'll see something that hasn't been done for 10 years. All of a sudden now is the big rage again, and everybody's doing it.
You mean like Moonbase is coming back now? Is that what you're saying?
Not just Moonbase, but I mean, there's like all sorts of different things, like I expect there to be like another resurgence of Bionicle builders again. Like it's been kind of waning down, but then I bet you in the next year or two we're going to start to see it cycle back up again for just some weird reason. It's like everybody gets in, every AFOL independently has a period of time where they're like, all right, I've been doing this. I need to take a break. I need to step back, or I need to. I'm going to scale back for a couple years. Like even in my mind, I'm thinking, had I gone to Chicago this year, I might have taken like 1 or 2 things and that's it. Instead of going like the last 2 times I went, I took a bunch of stuff both times. I'm even thinking for Atlanta next year of even scaling back even more than I did last year. And I scaled back last year even because I feel like I've been showing kind of a few of the same things over and over again. And so I feel like, I don't feel like just bringing it out and hashing it again. Maybe I'll scale back and bring something smaller instead of large. And I see other people do this as well. And it's not like I hear anybody talk about it. It's just my observation of seeing different shows and seeing different people and watching them kind of ebb and flow back and forth of what they're doing. And even you're saying, hey, I enjoyed going to Northern Virginia and only taking a couple of things, and it was a lot more fun. So,
more relaxing. It was a much smaller event. It was just nice for me to just not bring my usual expectations to.
Yeah. Well, it was like, I know a lot of people go to Chicago just to go. Like they'll go with an attendee that they could display something, but they're not displaying. They're just going to go to hang out and enjoy the show, or maybe just take something small like Friendship Timber or a Habitat to go into a collaborative instead of doing a big table worth of displays. I know Martin, he scaled back. Like he basically said, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop building for a while, even though I knew he would come back and build something again. But he's even talked about just going to a show just to hang out and not take anything with him.
British Martin?
Yes, Rick Snaps, yes. Or Martin from Not Alabama or whatever his name was for a while. Mark, what are your thoughts? I know you've come and gone on things you've done too.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly gone to a convention or two and traveled light. There's a couple of years that I've gone out to BrickCon in Seattle, and I mean, there was one year I took nothing, and there was another year that I just brought one small spaceship that I built. That was during the time when Small Paul was very small, when he was like a baby or a toddler, and I just wasn't building much because when the kids are little, just don't have much energy, and just it was all I could do to just build a small spaceship thing to take.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've traveled light before. I've had times where I've done more or less, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's good to give yourself a break because you don't want to burn yourself out too much. So,
or on the flip side, I think sometimes people just do get burnt out. I mean, you are making the explanation that it's good for you not to get burned out, but I think what sometimes happens is people do get burnt out in that aspect. Jeff, I would call on you, but you've walked away and you're coming back.
I'm here.
As someone who I know is notorious for taking big layouts, literally 1,000 miles from home, has that been your? I mean, I've only known you for about 4 or 5 years, but I've consistently seen you take big things wherever you go. What's your take?
I had a convention, Dark Ages, from 2017 to 22.
Okay.
And that was
about the time when you started.
My kids were younger too, so it was like vacations with them and stuff like that, and stuff. And after COVID, it was like I need to get back out there. But it was all your fault, actually, your guys' fault, to be honest with you. But but yeah, I mean, I had like a lot in 22. I did go to Portland for the Bricks Cascade there, and I brought like a suitcase little display that got hidden. It disappeared in the mess of stuff. So I mean, I don't think anybody ever really looked at it or anything. I was kind of in they had double tables, and I was in the back part of one of the tables, and I had a roof. It was my classic space hanger. Right. It had a roof on it, so because it was so far back, it was just shadowed. Like literally, the roof was causing it to be in complete darkness. So, but yeah, that was my one experience of not bringing something large. And it was also a convention where I didn't really know a lot of people because it was in Portland.
Right.
And I knew a few people there, but I didn't know a lot of people there. So I was actually quite bored, honestly, to be at that convention because I didn't know a lot of the people. And again, coming first convention kind of after Portland, Brick Fair, Alabama, we did as well, but you guys were all there. So,
right.
But
now I disagree on the fact that if you took something small and you didn't know any people, it would have given me the prime opportunity to go and meet a bunch of people.
Yeah, but I tend to be a little shy.
You are a little shy until you get rolling, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, oh crap, I can't remember his name. The guy who does the dinosaur collab, the Jurassic Park, Dave Morgan. He was there, so I was talking to him because we had been in some chats together. Like there were people I was talking to. I was talking to Boone and people like that as well, and Jeff. I can't think of Jeff's name now. Jeff, who's on our chat sometimes.
McElwee.
Yeah, McElwee. Sorry,
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've said that name, I guess. He was there and stuff. So I mean, I had people to talk to, but it was just, during public time, it was kind of the boring time because I'm used to standing behind my mock and talking to people, right? And that's what I enjoy doing. So, yeah.
Which is funny because I know I've had conversations with the Ericksons and I don't know if I inspired them or they inspired me, or if we were just kind of a conjunction kind of thing. That I for like the first or the Land of BrickCon 2 years ago, I stayed at my table pretty much the entire time.
Mhm.
I very rarely left my table during the public hours. One, because the room was so freaking packed you couldn't get anywhere anyway.
I was
On
on Twitter.
Saturday. But even on Sunday, I stayed at my table, and I noticed that the Ericksons did as well. They tried to stay at their table as much as possible. Now, granted, they have a much bigger reason to because they are Lego Master contestant winners. But they came over and they noticed that I had stayed at my table for most of the day and was talking about my monochrome stuff and the baby space and stuff like that, and talking space just because my space habitats and just getting the nostalgia from people, because that's really what that particular build does. It's designed to do is to get people to talk about all the classic space themes. And I had a great time because I was there at the table. Now, last year at Chicago, I didn't spend much time at my table at all because Chicago for me is like a freaking feeding frenzy of people I want to get around and talk to. So I don't tend to stay at my table as much. But I do like it when there is a builder who is at their table because I want to talk to them. I want to, if their build is, there are tons of times I've seen a build and I've probably walked past their builder and not known that it was their build. And I really wish I would have known that it was theirs because I would have made a comment. Where the tokens are nice because I can at least leave an appreciation token. But I think it's great when builders do stay by their builds to chit chat and talk about
The best place to talk about a build is with the build right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's what I did in Chicago. Chicago, I was at my table the entire time public hours were going on. I waited till they said, it's closed, and then I left.
Yeah. Which is commendable. I think poor Meredith got so burned out from setups and both the last two shows we hardly saw her during the public hours.
Should we maybe do a spin
Natalie and
around
I
the
were
room?
there on Atlanta BrickCon. We would come in the afternoons, and she liked sitting there, but I try to get her to talk to people. But we would do about 2-3 hours in the afternoon. You can see the Beyond Brick video. Natalie's sitting in the background drawing. But I will say, Brick World, when you have to do those double stack tables because of space.
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
It made it impossible at that level to talk to people.
Sure.
It was really hard.
I'm
That
a little
was- that
taller.
was-
So yeah. Well, and I was also on the corner, so it was easy for me to come out and talk
Yes.
at the same time. So there is an advantage to being on the end in that sort of capacity. But yeah, I can see being down towards the middle, it would have been difficult to talk to
It's like-
people.
Hi, you like my mom?
Yeah, because that extra table really does add extra space to be able to hear, especially in those big
And it's
rooms.
loud.
Yeah.
And it's loud
Last year at
already.
Brickworld, I was with
So-
Tarlug, and they were.
If
we
I
should
can,
do a round table.
sorry, I was going to sort of redirect since it looked like Mare was fading on us. Maybe we should see what Mare's working on, and show us what you're doing.
Flash.
She's painting.
Painting.
I'm making presents. And I'm not going to say who this is for because you probably can tell.
I've already determined who that's for.
Mm-hmm.
You even painted frogs. That's hysterical.
That's great.
I get a request, I make it happen. That's all I say.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But I was thinking we're a little bit overdue for the spin around the room. We sort of launched into the discussion before we visited with people to see what's going on. So obviously, Mare's painting things teal. and you may assume what you will about that. But I did want to say, Magnus, what's going on with you? It's been a while.
Hey, it has been a while. I am just being a busy human being with Lego things and non-Lego things. I am looking forward to going to Brick Fair Virginia, or Nova, or whatever they call it now, since there are 2 ones in Virginia, and that is in early August. I'm not going to have that much time to build too much between now and then because I'm going out of town. I'm going on vacation, but I'm beginning to. I'm feeling pretty good about what I have to show off there. There'll be some smaller new things and other things I bring back, but the one thing that you can maybe see in the background here is this is a castle that I built a while back. Not the big one in the background, but the sort of the Black Falcon's Fortressy castle one. And I've built a trench or like a moat around it. The brown thing that goes around the edges. The idea is that I'll have my modular landscape, which is a bunch of kind of large sloped base plates with sloped landscaping on top of them, leading up to it. So the castle will kind of sit on a very, very slight incline hill, and then there'll actually be a sort of a subterranean moat around it, or a ditch at least, with that water in it. So that's, I think I'm looking forward to. I also have we've done a military collaborative display at that event in the past, and it's going to be smaller than usual this time. It was affectionately referred to as a collaborette or something like that, like a mini collab with like maybe
like
three or four people instead of like 8 or more. But I'm not going to quite show off what I have quite yet, but I'm just going to show a small piece of that. This is just a little boat I have. I'm working with this on. This is a lifeboat, like the kind they would have had on all kinds of ships. Yes, or if you were perhaps trying to transport anything across the Atlantic in 1942, and you had to worry about surviving if you got torpedoed, then you would have a lot of these on board. And so I have a smaller military build related to that, and this is just a small boat design that I came up with that I'm pretty happy with, and I think it could also lend itself to if I do this in brown, it could be a good base for a Viking ship or something like that one day.
Very cool.
Thank you. And what else have I been up to? Yeah, some small mocks. But someone else show us what you got.
AKA Magnus is done talking.
I can talk more later, but that's cool.
That's a scary face.
Early over here. How you doing?
Good, guys. Good to be back. I've been doing a lot of work travel lately, so I haven't been able to focus on my Lego as much as I should have. I just got back into town, so I'm happy. I did start working on some of the backlog. Unfortunately, I'm not. I really wish I could get into the mocks as much as you. Every time I come on here, I see all just the great original ideas, and it breaks my heart that I just can't. I can't do the same thing. So keep doing what you're doing, because you do inspire meatheads like me that don't really have that artistic gift to maybe at least consider doing something like that.
Everybody does Lego differently.
Mine is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do not pass go. If I'm lucky, I might substitute a part, and I feel like I'm, Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci or something.
Listen, I'm over here painting Lego, so please don't feel bad. Everyone does it the way they enjoy.
That makes my day, because I'm going to be doing that shortly. I bought the pieces; they finally all arrived for that DC-15 blaster we talked about a few months ago, and I'm finally going to pull the trigger. You've inspired me to go ahead and get those things painted so that I can afford to put it together now. So I appreciate that. Other than that, again, really just trying to play catch up. I'm very excited about Brick Fair. Hopefully I'll get to see you, Magnus, there, and some of the other familiar faces. I'm excited to say I'll know rock stars when I get there. see people that you know,
I look forward to
collaborate
meeting.
with on here, if not in spirit with Legos. So yeah, I other than I'm just happy to be home. I missed my dogs, I missed my Legos, so I'm happy to be back. I'm looking forward to jumping back in with both feet.
Hey, that's cool. But it's good to have you back on the show. I mean, I haven't been on the show in a couple of weeks myself because vacations and stuff. So, actually, I'll just hold up what I'm working on right now because it's in my hand. I am working on part of the Dungeons and Dragons set right here. Got it right there behind me. So this is part of the middle of the set. That's sort of I guess the little dungeony area that's behind the mountain there. So it's sort of part way. But I love the gelatinous cube. I built the gelatinous cube there. So that's really fun.
Cool.
And then I have the inn was bags 1 through 5. So it looks really good. It's a nice little construction, and it has the little interiors to it, and the mimics are really fun. So you got the bed that's like turns into a mimic, and then there's a chest next to it that's also a mimic. So you don't want to stay at this inn. And then the minifigures are really fun. These are the ones from the first 5 bags here. So they're really sort of neat.
Mhm.
I like the tavern keeper. He looks like a used car salesman,
Oh, that's very.
You can fit so many kobolds in this baby right here, So yeah, the figures are fun. So it's a fun build. I'm enjoying it. And then when we were at Legoland, I also picked up a couple of speed champions.
That green one on the bottom, I'm wanting to build.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Lamborghini. It's very cool. And then the Audi is really cool too. It's got that neat sort of thing going on. So yeah, had fun. Had a lot of fun hanging out with our friend of the show, Ryan Wood, and his family. And Small Paul had a good time as well. Speaking of Small Paul, he's got 2 dragons of the week. They're small dragons, but if you want to jump in here, Small Paul, and show everybody your dragons of the week that you've got.
Hi.
Here's the amazing Small Paul with his
Sweet shirt.
Or the not so small Paul.
Yeah, you're gonna have to change that nickname. It's got to be
Oh, I'm done. Peace. Nope, I'm done.
I already suggested mid Paul, but he didn't like that.
I like swole Paul.
Stop it. Please. I'm done with it. Okay. This is apparently the young dragon version of Ryu. If you've seen Rising, you know what I mean.
Did you put the wings on backwards?
They're supposed to be looking like they're folded.
Okay, my bad.
Geez, Dad.
Gosh, Dad.
Exactly.
Apparently, you know nothing.
Apparently so. Okay. Fixed wings. The one thing that I am disappointed about this dragon, he doesn't really have a bottom jaw, so you can't open his mouth. That's the only thing I'm disappointed about. Other than that, the dragon is really, really great. I love the tail. It's supposed to be a young dragon, so I understand why it's a small set. Every leg ball joint, all ball jointed. So you could do some really, really useful poses. The head I'm really, really fond of. I like the designs on the sides. It looks like they're like feathers or something. And then the head, it's also really interesting.
Okay, what about the other dragon?
The other dragon is I forgot his name, it doesn't matter. It's supposed to be a water dragon. This was not the original piece, the sword blade. That was an extra piece I just found on my table over there. And I decided to stick it on the tail, because why the hell not? The wings...
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not?
Yeah, exactly. The wings, per usual, are the usual golden dragon wings with nothing in between, which makes
Flipping.
0. The mouth can do. The mouth can do this. Stop it.
You good?
What do you think?
Okay, come on.
Okay. The mouth can open pretty wide. I really like
Get
the
a whole
horn.
minifig in there.
Yeah, that is pretty much true. The horns, I really like these pieces. Can you not?
Every dad's mission just to embarrass your kid as much as you can.
This is what I have to deal with when we're doing an open bricks when I'm presenting the Dragon of the Week.
Hey, you should know this is Old Gray Bricks. It's messy. It's Monday.
Very
You're
messy.
not.
Very messy. Also messy.
There's really not much to talk about this dragon. Every limb is ball jointed as well. I love the design of the back legs. I think they're really interesting. One thing I'm disappointed in, though, is that they couldn't really make the front legs have an extra joint right here. It's just like a bent joint. It's like a bent part.
The old fake joints are plaguing dragon lovers as well as mech lovers.
Yep.
Very Lego. Very Lego.
Yeah,
Indeed.
that's the one thing I hate
So
about this.
that first,
Other
that
than
first
that, dragon is really, really cool. One thing I also wish Lego would do is detail the freaking teeth. Because these are almost always the same color as the top and the bottom of the head.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm disappointed
You
in
might have to
Lego
do some
about.
painting like Mare.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. Send it to
can
Mary and
give
have
you
her
a
paint the teeth
lesson
in.
I'm here to give lessons.
And that's it from Small Paul, I guess.
It's not blasphemy if you enjoy it.
Oh, that still needs to be a t-shirt or a bumper sticker.
If only
Sinner's
Chris were
slogan.
here. If only Chris were here for that comment. You know?
It's not blasphemy if you enjoy
You
it.
enjoy it. You bet.
So long as everyone's enjoying themselves.
With a big thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Exactly.
Presenting
We
Uh,
need
in
a,
falls,
we need a
okay?
Buddy, we
I
need a
can't
Buddy
wait
Mare
for-
illustration. Buddy Mare. You
Uh,
enjoy it.
It's Old Gray Bricks after dark.
what? Why did I just have fireworks pop up? Did somebody push a button?
I was wondering about the fireworks too. I don't.
Because that
It's
wasn't
the
me.
thumbs up.
I don't know what happened.
It's a new AI component.
It must be. It must be.
It happened right after I did this. So I don't know.
That's hysterical. I did not know you could do fireworks in your background. I did not know. That's hysterical. Oh.
It wasn't us.
Okay.
Oh.
Anywho, Jeff, what's going on with you? You got anything new happening over there?
I do. First of all, Small Paul's first dragon, is he now called Jawless? It's toothless because he has no lower jaw. Anyway,
Jolly.
and
I see what you did there.
and the Audi without stickers doesn't look too bad, but the Mercedes one without stickers looks horrible. Just so you know. Anyway, I've taken a break from my castle for this week to work on another part of the castle, which I started last week, which is adding a motor to the bottom of this section of cliffside that will feed directly into our good friend the Bouncy Castle. So I'm just starting to work on the gearing over here for that. I have to remove the old nickel motor that is working very well, as you can see. It's got lots of friction, so lots of tension. Hence the reason I'm replacing it. So I'm working on the base of that. My next show is basically in November, so I get some stuff done. I also am sporting a mohawk today, but that's beside the point.
I believe that's technically a faux hawk.
Mohawk.
Faux hawk.
Yeah.
It's true.
I got my series of collectible minifigures. I bought a box off of Costco here in Canada that sells them for 40 cents cheaper than anywhere else.
Nice.
And what I'm doing, bricks and pieces orders. Case in point, this came in just panels and 1x8 plates and those snot bricks, the big ones. I throw like 5 minifigs in, and every time I throw 5 minifigs in, I'm getting like the bottom half of the box. So I'm always getting the the Blacktron guy, and the Ice Planet ones, which are cool because I want them. But I've got one single Space Baby and I've got one single Mtron character, and I'm like 409. So, and I haven't found a store here in Ontario in Canada that is selling the figs, this series of figs as of yet, other than our Lego stores. But they're quite.
Emmett's Toy Chest.
Yes, yeah, I do know he's got them too. So
I don't know if he's doing a markup on any of them yet, or if they're all still.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he sells the full kits or just individual figures. I have to go.
He does sell full sets.
No, I don't want full sets. I want.
Oh no, I know he does both. He does.
Yeah.
Both.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just need to go to one of our local toy stores here. I know like we have a chain called Mastermind Toys, and they tend to have the figures out on display. And now with the latest Brick app, there's another app that I've been starting to use. Called Minifig Scan, and you literally hold it against one of the boxes. Actually, let me just grab a couple here, because I actually have a couple still sealed. You hold it against the boxes, you scan the barcode. Sorry, this is hard to do backwards.
So she said.
And it just hovers over it and tells you what it is.
It tells you what each of them is, like really easily. No pictures. Wow, this is hard to do. That's what she said.
Does it do two at once?
It will. I've held it above the case. There,
Yeah,
for a second there, I had them both.
I did
So,
see it
anyways.
for a split second. I saw
I took the whole case and inverted it.
Mm-hmm.
I basically just held the app up against it, and it identified about three of them at a time.
That's cool.
So I found that a pretty quick app. Because it doesn't do pictures, it doesn't have to load anything. It's just instantly.
It just tells you real quick, and you can move on. I like that.
Exactly.
I like that. Post that in the chat. I'll try that.
Yeah, sure. I have to open it up again. But other than that, Castle will continue progress next week. Make everybody sick. The keep is progressing. It's in the middle there. I'm starting to think about smaller towers on top and stuff. So the keep's been totally redesigned. So that's
is it just bigger, or what are you changing?
It's actually a smaller footprint in the center, but it's going to be taller. My idea is so like the last actual spiral tower is this guy here, and then from there on there's like 7 smaller towers, and my idea is to have each tower spiral up on all those. So the first one will be a little shorter, and then as the towers spiral up, I'll build the keep up as well. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to beat Rich at his own game because he had a really tall castle last year at Atlanta BrickCon, so I want to go taller because apparently that's what we do these days. But the keep is also more segmented, so I can fit it into boxes a lot easier as well. So
modularity is key.
Yeah. My last one, which I built 2 weeks before Brick Fair, Alabama, I was basically using whatever parts I had left, and it was just such an unwieldy size. I had to put it into a special bin that's like a special size bin that I couldn't put in the trailer because those bins I discovered after getting to Atlanta BrickCon that those bricks just shatter when they're moved. And maybe when it was cold because it was January. So yeah, I'm trying to build more to fit into a bin that I can, throw into the trailer and stuff. So you can take me off the full screen now.
Please. He's like, please.
People don't like the full lock. Anyway.
Mark likes to make you suffer just a little extra time.
Oh, I know.
A little extra time.
No, I'm actually placing bricks on this at the moment, and was only halfway looking at the screen. So, let's see. We haven't heard from Rich. What's going on down there, Rich?
Oh my gosh. Number one, I determined my phone was so old that was the problem.
What was it?
3 years old. That's what the problem. Do you hear me clearly now?
You do very clearly.
Oh, there you go. It was the phone. The phone was freaking me out. But here we are. New phone. Works great. Got a new headset for it. Everything's awesome. Here's what's been going on besides this. I went to 4D Bricks and consigned from Paul's Printing monorail.
Oh,
Not just this, but these.
interesting.
That's the halfways. Yeah.
Half
Here
of these-
is a extension for the curve switch.
Mhm.
Ooh,
That's how that works, like that.
interesting.
Yeah, there's a long one too.
Ah.
And now I've heard that there's a larger diameter radius curve.
Yeah, I was just thinking, yeah, battery powered bricks. And then I looked at chat and realized he just said, did you see his wide
Yeah.
radius curve?
Yes, I did. I also have another order on the way from Paul's. It involves lots of these and regular length monorail track pieces. What else have I done? I ordered from Minifigs Me in England, and I got myself a Seventh Doctor. Now the umbrella is my creation design because I didn't want to put his hat on and move the hair. But to go with the Seventh Doctor, I made my own creation Ace
Nice.
with her battery with her bat and Nitro 90.
Excellent.
Excellent.
And her Scottish
And
kilt.
yeah, it's got to kill and a little shorter legs because she's just a little shorter.
Just a little pixie thing.
She's just a little shorter. Well, let me see this like that. There you go. What else did I do? I finally finally ordered some black wheels for the IR motor, the power functions motor, and then created a new tender for the Lone Ranger train. And it goes around the track very, very fast.
Are those wheels aftermarket, or do you just needed to get black wheels?
I had to go get from Bricklink,
Okay.
but it's in there. I got the little switch hidden underneath the coal.
Sweet.
Two more things.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Let me see here. I don't know if I showed you all my completed thing. Now, the Forbidden Island, double Forbidden Island thing, it's been on display before. It's been to different events. But this time I was actually able to do the C-mount.
Ooh. Very cool.
And there's all kinds of the
Ooh.
things in there.
Das is big.
Das is big. Yeah, yeah. We got Patrick's doing the Spider-Man meme. We got SpongeBob's doing the Spider-Man meme. We have Squidward's doing the Spider-Man meme. Because
Lots of fun stuff.
and lots of fun stuff. And my wife insisted that I buy her.
My wife.
This is me opening it for the first time. This is the unboxing. She wanted
Something from Lego.
from Lego. This is
Hocus Pocus.
the Galaxy. The Galaxy.
Ooh, the Galaxy.
Ooh, the Galaxy. It's in here.
Cool.
Let me do a thing. And of course, because you bought a Galaxy, you got Space
Friend.
Diner.
Space Diner.
Yep. And that's what is going on here. Aha! I found this tape. Let's see what the Galaxy looks like. Dun dun dun. The Milky Way.
Just missing a
So-
Galaxy Explorer.
Oh, well, I have one of those.
It's the largest set Lego ever created.
Is that now the best piece count?
3,091.
I was
No,
making
I
a,
don't think so.
No, that's not even close.
I was making a
No.
joke. You know what? Because it's the
The
galaxy,
largest piece
guys.
Oh,
It's a galaxy.
dad joke was lost on me. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
But you did get me earlier, though, when one of the other comments, though. So keep it up. It's all good.
It's hit or, you know,
It's hit or miss.
it's about quantity. One of them will hit eventually.
No air tanks. Which really
Yeah, that's
surprised me.
crazy.
Yeah, there's no air
Crazy
tanks
talk.
in that set.
But the air tanks are available on Shoppadome, so you can pick them up.
Yes, but that's
Ah.
not the point. The point is that there are no air
That's
tanks
the
in
point.
that set.
I agree. And
It's not the point.
It's just strange. It's just strange. And didn't they also do a different color air tank on the white spaceman or space
Yes.
gal in one of those little creator
Yes.
sets? If I'm
Yep.
not mistaken.
I don't know.
I
Can't remember.
switched the air tank out, but yeah, this little one had the black air tank,
Yeah.
and I switched.
Why?
Again,
Why?
who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
don't really get it.
Strange.
I do have to say that I found out about the larger radius curve after I put in my last order, and I was hoping it would be here today, and it was not. Along with the 7th Doctor, I also finally got a 6th Doctor, so now my doctoring is complete because I made my own 15th.
There you go. Did
Well,
Steve get to talk about what he's doing?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's move on and ask Steve what he's got going on over there. Steve, what's going on?
So I had a pretty good weekend. I ended up buying my white whale set, which is the Metalbeard Sea Cow. I don't have it yet, but I got it on Marketplace and got a pretty good deal on it. So yeah, I got that, and I was thinking like I would recolor that and make the friendly Sea Cow for Friendship Timber. So I downloaded Studio for the first time and started working on it. And yeah, it was just kind of a learning curve there, and it's interesting building stuff in Studio. Like I was following the directions of the Sea Cow, and you can't exactly build it the way the instructions tell you to all the time, especially with like, what are they called? They're like hinge bricks. They're like the 1x2 plates, like swivel.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
those ones you can't really like build it as the instructions say. You kind of got to build each half and put the one half down and rotate the other half and slide it into place. So that was a little different, but like, I don't know now. I got the Sea Cow, and if I'm going to be like recoloring it in like physically recoloring it, I'm not sure I want to take 10-year-old brown. It's like the whole thing's brown. I don't know if I want to take 10-year-old brown bricks and like take them apart and put them back together like multiple times. I'm a little nervous to do that.
So
because
I've been waiting for Monday because there was questions I had. I almost just jumped on an Instagram chat with you to talk.
bring them on.
Because I know it kind of caught me by surprise that you're like, hey, I'm doing this. And you had questions, and I know, and I'm like, hey, Studio is going to be a way to do this, and it is. So are you thinking, because I know you're thinking about taking the original to use as the base. I disagree with doing that. If you're going to buy it for the white whale that it is, get it, keep it, set it aside, and then do everything from scratch on your Friendship Timber
Right.
one, because multiple reasons. One, your reddish brown brick already, that's going to be a problem. So you don't even want to go down that road. And two, because you're building it digitally, the odds are you're going to just wind up recoloring the crap out of it. And so using the original, you're probably not going to wind up using much of it to begin with, unless you left the reddish brown, which I think you want to avoid anyway.
The thing with that set is I looked up on Bricklink. I don't know if I sent you that or not, but the 5 pieces that make up the hull
Right.
are like $39 just for those 5 pieces. It's pretty expensive.
In reddish brown though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark brown.
Or dark brown. Okay.
Yeah.
So my recommendation to you is this. rebrick, or just a lot of times parts you can build them out of bricks. So don't get those original parts, especially because it's for a mock and it's something you're doing for fun.
Right.
Rebuild those, and they don't have to be exact, because I'm sure those hull pieces are actually very rounded.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
There may
There's
be
like 3 pieces that make up the bottom.
right.
So
There may be other pieces that you
Here's
can
another
use.
suggestion.
Go ahead, Matt.
If it's a friendship timber build, you can build with whatever colors you want. In fact, I would recommend using white boat hulls, or now because of the for Mario, nougat boat hulls, both of which should be readily available, and both of which are much more friends orientated color, neutral colors.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Actually,
there is one piece of that hull that is available in coral, but not the middle piece, like the piece you'd think would be more colors. That one's just not in coral.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
again, the way I focus on a friendship build is because you're going to have to understand that there's not going to be a lot of the colors you need in specific parts. So you need to select a good neutral. So again, white and medium nougat are great friends neutral colors that you can build on. And you know you're going to have good availability of them. I built my friendship timber original pirate ship. It's using white whole piece, came in goodness however many friendship yachts that they ever made. So I'd really focus on a color scheme first, with looking at what's available and what colors, and go from there, because otherwise it can start looking mishmashy that you don't have a clear defined color scheme.
sure.
Yeah.
I think for now my color scheme is probably going to be either that dark brown hull, or I was going to do medium nougat and teal. Like I like teal and white.
I'd
and
go
gold.
medium and nougat. I'd
What's
do
that?
that. That's the dark brown is not seen in Friends a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really dark. So it's hard to. I even struggled. I wanted to make a dark brown tree in my elves mock, but I'm like, it's just too dark. It upsets the color balance.
Yep.
So speaking of friends pirate ships, Small Paul and I were at Legoland last week, and we did the I can't remember what it's called, it's the virtual flight through the Lego Movie whatever ride, and it was a giant movie screen, and you sit in a chair and it wiggles you around and stuff. But there was a whole scene in that where Metalbeard's ship has a battle with a friend's pirate ship, and I was
where do you think I got the idea?
I was like, this must be where Mara got the idea.
That's exactly where I got the idea, because Natalie was about 5 years old, and that was the last trip we took before COVID, and I built that shit during COVID.
Now we know. Now we
Full
know.
The other thing is,
Now you know. I
might
gotta
just-
run. So
Can I
I'll
run?
see you, some of you, next week or later in the week, and the rest, I'll see you later.
Ciao.
Bye.
Yeah.
Wow, and she just gave me that whole, this is actually Brick World week. It's not just, it's coming. No, it's literally this week. So, FOMO
I
sigh.
thought today was going to be super long, but today went by really fast.
Speaking of people who were in Florida last week, here's Chris.
Hey, yeah, I missed you. Sorry, man. Also, I saw your text at night because I wasn't getting good signals in the convention hall there when you messaged me last time.
It's okay. I mean, it wasn't very likely that me and Small Paul were going to make it all the way over there, because we were, after doing those sweltering hot days in the parks and stuff, we were pretty beat by the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel you. Literally Friday morning, I was at Hollywood Studios before going to set up for the con Friday afternoon. So I feel you there.
And if I'm not mistaken, from the pictures I saw, you actually pulled out and did a big display, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, it wasn't a big display. It was, I used kind of the corner setup with minifigures and stuff that I normally do. And then I brought some of the space things I brought over and set a few ships out there. It was fairly popular, actually. It had a lot of pictures taken. So
Cool. No, I mean, because I was
I
like,
got some kind of little gizmo award somebody gave me, which I liked. So it made me happy.
Always good to get tokens. Always.
There was some pretty good builds there. Honestly, most of the stuff I had already seen before, other than what won overall for the convention, which was the UC or the USSCS Prometheus build.
That was insane.
It was.
Yeah.
Actually, I just got pictures uploaded. I just got home right as the show was starting, so I just started uploading. But yeah, it was a great spaceship. I mean, it was amazing, huge. It was crazy. I really loved it.
And because I looked up that guy's Instagram page, and it's not like he's a huge builder.
I mean, he's built a few things. Before this, I think his biggest build was probably basically a UCS version of the mech from Matrix.
Okay.
At least that's the biggest one I'd seen from him before,
right?
Which he also had on display there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just it. I mean, he similarly seemed like a builder who will focus on one project and do it to the nth degree over a long period of time versus, some hack like me who's posting something every other week on whatever I'm working on. But no, I clicked on to follow him just to see, and whenever he does post something new. So.
Yeah, he had some really good builds.
Yeah.
He did win Best in Show, which was rightedly deserved. I mean, it was great stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had the normal Master Builder crew and a lot of the influencers, TikTok crew, and all that, which always great to hang out with and talk to. But yeah, I mean, I think it was probably not as well attended just because it's literally the week before Brick World, and it was that was kind of I couldn't go to Brick World this year. And I literally decided I was going to Orlando Wednesday and I left on Thursday. So that should tell you something.
Yes, that does. I'm curious to see how many of those who are there. Because I know several of the people who are there will be.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of them, a lot of them are not even going home. I talked to a number of people that are literally going straight to Chicago from Orlando.
Right. So. Yeah, I mean, just they probably fly out today or tomorrow, or already flew out and they're just going there early or stopping to see somebody along the way. So it makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, no, kind of cool, kind of neat.
I do think I'm going to go to Brick Fan Expo next month in Nashville, though. I mean, it's a pretty close show and seemed like it'd be fun.
That is, yeah, it's a pretty close.
I think they're expecting a bigger exhibitor audience just because it's not right next to Brick World, obviously. So
right, exactly. Yeah. Well, I know that's the trick with any type of convention circuit, no matter what industry you're in, whether it's comic books or general pop culture, or this, that, and the others. Finding the right weekends for a show in a particular state or area, and depending on the type of people who will be attending. Because it kind of limits it. I mean, it
does. And venues are a big deal nowadays because number one, they are super expensive.
Yeah.
And finding one that's not sold out or already have those dates booked 2 years in advance, that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing. It's like once you get a weekend, you want to book that same weekend for multiple years in a row because otherwise you're not going to get it. It's going to be
Yeah.
I
will say the venue we were in, the venue overall was really awesome. The exhibition hall we were in, not as awesome, especially for vendors. It had bad lighting, and that was a problem. And then the flow of the way it was set up to have people move in and out of got changed by the exhibition hall people. They're like, no, we don't want you to do this. You need to just use this one entrance. It kind of messed up the flow of things and, did not do good things for the vendors at all. I don't think they were happy about that.
That throws an wrench.
That's not on Brick Fan Expo. That is on the venue.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that changed that entire setup last minute. So unfortunate, but it's also the first time they've been at that venue. But overall, I don't know what the final numbers were, but it was a very steady attendance the entire weekend.
That's good.
And we got a lot of, like the venue itself. It was like this Deezerland is what it's called. I had never been there before, but apparently it's been in Orlando for a long time. Has this huge, huge car museum. movie, TV, fancy, high profile cars and stuff there. It had indoor go-karts, indoor arcade, bumper cars, everything.
It's like a not just a destination.
It also had a Cinemark XD theater there. I mean, it was a huge venue.
Wow.
So if they upgrade the lighting in there, it'd be great. Because I mean, the hall we were in was fine. It just the flow of it didn't work, and then the lighting, especially on the sides, was not good.
Right.
In the middle, it was okay, but on the sides, it was poor lighting.
That's very interesting. I mean, it's very Orlando. Now that I think about it, it's like, hey, you're going to a convention, but once you're done with the convention, you don't have to go home. You can stay and hang out.
And that was the great thing. If you came to the convention, you got a hand stamp, and the hand stamp lets you get 15% off everything in the venue. So I think it was a win-win.
Not too shabby.
Also, wash your hands and go back next week.
Right?
Exactly. Too funny.
It was a fun event though. I really enjoyed it. So
cool.
If you ever been to a Brick Fan Expo or Atlanta Brick Con, I mean, it was literally that same exact setup, show wise, and schedule wise, but always fun. So couldn't complain any.
Yep.
I will say the yard sale kind of took me by surprise. I literally took a bag of stuff to sell, and they literally bought my entire stock out. It was unexpected. I mean, I came home with nothing at all.
Didn't that happen last time too?
No, not like this. This time I actually had a whole stock of things. It was just gone.
Never a bad problem.
So next convention you're at where the Block Place or Bricktoria's Secret's selling, well, you might see my stuff there because they're the ones that bought me out. So
nice.
I did save some before I left because I know I had talked to Magnus about these.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera is going to pick those up real well.
Are those 2x2s?
They are 2x2s, yes.
Yeah. Would you like to? Are we connected on Facebook, or you want to reach out to me sort of one-on-one sometime about that?
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, please do. Thanks.
Very nice. Bringing A-folds together for printed parts.
It was a great weekend overall. I ended up I actually hit Disney on the first day and the last day. So,
well, you do have a season pass, so why not?
It was nice. And I got to see the drone show. Not the Disney show, but if you've seen a video of the new drone show at Disney Springs, it does not do it justice. That was amazing. It was very three-dimensional. I don't even know how to explain it.
Is it similar to the one that they're doing in LA?
No. Okay. It was awesome.
Okay. I thought
it was literal Disney characters, the Death Star, things coming to life in 3 dimensions with drones. It was crazy.
Wow. That's cool. Gotta see it.
Anyway.
Cool.
I did post pictures on my Facebook and gave the link to all of you in chat here that you can see. But look at those. They're a couple cool ones, a couple new things. Most of the stuff we've seen, I think everybody's kind of holding off on most of the new stuff for next week. So we didn't get to see anything just new, but we know it's coming.
Well, I'm curious to see because Victor still hasn't posted those medieval windows since Atlanta BrickCon.
He had a pretty darn big selection of windows. I looked through them, but I don't remember specifically. But there was more than I'm used to seeing. So.
Mm-hmm. But those windows that he's been doing for the castles, they're not on the site.
I know. I looked for them specifically last week. So
I know.
You guys are local to him, right?
Technically,
yes.
If you happen to reach out to him, I'm interested in them too. So.
I mean, I'm sure he'll be in Chicago this week.
Yeah, but I won't. So.
Oh, well. I mean,
I think only you and Steve will be in Chicago this week.
He'll be at Brick Fair. I'm sure he'll be at Brick Fair.
But again, I don't think Jeff will be at Brick Fair either. So.
Yeah.
You going to Chicago?
What are you doing next month, Jeff? Come down to Nashville.
We're
You know
gonna
what?
let
I
Jeff
literally-
think about that one. We're
I
gonna let
thought about it, then I'm like, oh, I just submitted my passport to get renewed, so I can't cross a border right now. But technically, by next month, could be a possibility.
Could.
I don't know.
he could. It's entirely possible. Entirely possible.
Who is going to Chicago next? No, I mean tomorrow this week.
Jeff's going, or Steve's going. Steve's going to Chicago.
That's it.
That's it.
And
And
Meredith.
Meredith's
Yeah.
going to be there.
Hey,
Yep.
Steve, if you do happen to go by Victor's stuff, which is the what this is,
Eclipse Graphics.
Eclipse Graphics, and you see
Well, it's
Castle
Eclipse Graphics
Windows,
/ Brick Warriors now because it's
Oh, it's Slash
and he's
Record.
bumped
Yeah.
up.
if you see the
Yeah, he bought
Castle
them.
Castle Windows, reach out to me, please, because I might get you
Okay.
to grab me some and mail them if that's
Okay.
possible.
All of his blister packs have both names on them now. So
Oh, okay. Cool.
Interesting.
I actually
And
got
if you're-
his V figure from Cyberpunk, which was really awesome. I picked that up this weekend.
Jeff, if you're not satisfied with what
Oh,
you
you
get
recommend-
from Chicago, I will look for you at Brick Fair.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm assuming Victor will be at Chicago, so
Steve's got cool stickers.
Yep, I'm making these tomorrow.
Ooh.
Those
That's
are
supposed to be me.
It works. It works. The glasses.
It's a last minute thing, actually. I thought about it today.
I like it. I like it.
It's gonna be my token thing. I didn't have time to make anything, so
Any form of appreciation is always appreciated. I know.
Yep.
So
For the record, Brick Jams did get his free stuff at the show this week. So it was Jamie, by the way. I had no idea who it was, honestly. So I know he's not watching now because he's probably busy. You know.
Yeah. But no, it's always difficult. That's always one of the tricks is to know somebody's handle, but not their real name. It's
Right.
very frustrating. It's very frustrating, and
Like,
a lot
we
of
all know him.
Yeah.
I just didn't know him by the name.
and,
So-
and it's very common for people to not have their face in any of their posts, so you never know what they look like to begin with.
yep.
Moto said he's almost in Chicago as well because he's doing the
Oh,
multi-day
nice.
trek.
Well, he does the box truck. He's
Yeah.
the box truck driver for which, as Chris and I will attest to, we will never ever do that again. But props to Moto for doing it, though. I actually told that story the other day, Chris. Bobby,
The fact we made it as far as we did was still a miracle.
the fact that the truck broke down a mile from your house and we were still able to drive into your subdivision before the wheel fell off is a miracle. It is truly a Lego miracle. But Bobby and I met up on Thursday real quick to pass off some sig figs so I can send one up to Steve and give one to him. And so we got talking about Brick World because this, he's getting ready to go up. He and his wife are flying up. They're going just to hang out, which is cool. He's just taking sig figs with him to trade and hang out with people as opposed to taking any displays. So I relayed the Chicago drive, and I'm not going to do anytime soon again story. Now I would drive up with Mark because I know I could probably fall asleep and then I'd wake up there. So that could always happen someday. So I will drive with Mark.
Is that a comment about the speed at which I drive, or?
It might. It could. It could be something about speed.
I would not rule it out.
Yeah, I would not rule it out. I know we're getting to the top, and I'm just going to do a quick update on some things I've been doing. I have been trying to start condensing the basement. I'm getting ready for the summer purge. Even though I know we are almost in summer, I am going to start looking at things to weed out. So I've been taking apart all sorts of Star Wars sets that have been in tubs built, and so I've been breaking them down. This is the small bag of shame that I've already started for clips that have broken for sets. So this is a PSA announcement. If you store sets built, you will have clips that break. I don't have it sitting right here, but I have had a reddish brown, a dark red, and a dark green piece that have all also snapped while taking sets apart because, well, some of those sets are 10 years old and they've been sitting together for that long. So I should have been a little more careful on a couple of those pieces, but I will replace them and they'll be fine. So been taking all that stuff down. I was looking for all my microfighters because I want to do some photography or do something with all the microfighters because there's like almost 50 microfighters in the last 10 years. I didn't realize that this is the 10th year that the microfighters for Star Wars have been around. So I thought I'd do something fun for that. So I've been looking for things. While I was doing that, I ran across these 3 cups and one of them fell.
Oh no.
Oh. And they were these. They were these. I was able to sweep up, I want to say,
Is that mess?
95% or more of what fell. Only one of the cups, actually 2 of the cups fell, but one of them, the lid stayed together pretty close, so I was okay. The other one, 3/4 of the cup had spilled over in one corner of the basement. So I was down there with a broom, and what I was doing earlier is I was taking that cup and sifting it out of my table here so I could let whatever other debris had gotten in there filter out on the table before putting it in a bag, so that now it won't be on the basement on a shelf that I could accidentally bump into and have it fall over on a concrete floor and bust open. So that was fun.
Explosion. An explosion of.
Yes. And I'm sure that when I finally do move, I will find all sorts of those probably still filtered through underneath shelving units in all corners of the basement. So yeah, fun stuff. And then I did get to build this little guy. If you guys haven't picked him up.
Ooh.
His head turns, which I think is kind of cool and creepy.
I didn't realize it did that.
And his ears also move, which I think was well designed for the build so that you can do the expression and you can swap out his mouth for a different expression. This is just it's a really well done build. Lots of crazy build techniques in this. This is not a studs up build in any way, shape, or form. Everything on here is connected with snot or brackets or clips or something. And I love the fact that even his front legs are designed to turn. Oop. And even the tail will do a little bit of movement too. So he's very expressive. He's cool.
It's quite posable.
He's quite posable. And there are a lot of newer pieces in here. Like I was building along and I'm like, oh, wow, this is a piece I've never seen before. I haven't had a chance to go back and look at it. But there was just to see, were they new for this particular set or have they been new in a couple other sets and I just don't build in those themes? I'm guessing some Speed Champions pieces that I'm not used to seeing are probably what I'm seeing a lot of in here. But like the chest pieces here, it's the longer bow with a cut.
Yeah, those are brand new this year for Speed Champions.
Yeah, so those must be some Speed Champions pieces.
So when you display that, you need to put it near the edge of your bookshelf.
Oh, and have something to knock over?
Put like a glass of water or something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm thinking that it's specific piece, Dana. It would be good for a rebuild of a Mach 5.
Oh, lots of curves to build a nice, sleek Mach 5.
Right in the center, that center point.
Yeah, that center point. Lots of great parts. There were some even more of them, and I can't remember which ones they were off the top of my head, but got that. And then I did go visit Brian and Meredith last week, and they helped me with some pieces. So I have now completed 2 micro UFO sets and 99.9% of 2 little insectoid sets. Unfortunately, I did not get a dark brown space chair, which I need to order. I will share with you my calamity because these couple pieces that I needed that I wound up going to Brian and Mara's house to get were in addition to some pieces that I had already ordered and paid shipping for. And I thought, all right, this is probably more than I would normally pay for shipping and maybe a little more than I would pay for a couple of parts that I was looking for. But I figured the guy had them all. He had a couple instructions. I figured, I'll justify in my head to do all this. And then when I got the order in, I realized I had forgot to add 2 or 3 crucial pieces. And so it kind of blew the whole scenario, spending that little extra money for those shipping and parts. Tale as old as time. Double check your BrickLink before you click purchase. So that happening. And then I don't
Thank you for your PSA.
Ever had to add a second, third, fourth, or fifth order to Jenny before we pick up parts. Ever.
Well, with because it's local, I could go back down to her and get them. But no, this was out of Colorado of all places. So I digress. And then, of course, the last thing I did do, and I don't have pictures to share, and I don't have them in my hands to show you because they're down in the basement already, is that I did build. I took a clearance Hulk and turned him into a big alien body for my my Mars base. So that's been fun. And then I also got in parts from Pick a Brick that I was able to take the Space Lab and make it Friends colors. So I basically took off the brown windows and added trans clear windows, and then took out all the sand light blue and added in purple, and now it's ready for Mars base. So I'm going to start ramping back up on that. It's been weird. I'm excited to see everybody going to Chicago, but I'm glad that I'm not having a convention push and motivate me to finish anything until February. So I feel very relaxed in building lately.
You don't have like
convention next
pre-event
month, and
FOMO.
it's right up the road from us.
No convention hangover.
Well, it's not so much the convention hangover; it's the convention.
Foreplay.
No, it's the withdrawal. It's the withdrawal that really gets you. It's coming back from a show, and just having that everything. You have to go back to the real world.
Happens to me with Disney too. Yeah, I feel it.
Like a bit like sort of feeling depressed and down after this big anxiety.
The withdrawal.
After our BrickFed events, we used to call it Fet Drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I think that's probably even worse than FOMO, believe it or not.
I don't usually get like a drop like that after a big event. I am not Legoed out at all. First of all, I might be exhausted, but I am full of inspiration, and I'm like and it always happens very quickly, right? And
right.
The event is three or 5 long days, but it moves very quickly.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's coming home and realizing I wish it was still going on. I wish I was still there. I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do. I didn't get to talk to everybody I wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
But I have all these great ideas to do things for, and I want to share them and talk about them, and the event is over.
I've started thinking my Lego building in Lego building years, kind of like, how the government has like a fiscal year, which doesn't follow the calendar year.
Right.
I go to one event a year, and it's always the same one, typically early August. So for me, like building year 2025 starts like at the end of August, like mid-August after Brick Fair 2024 is over.
Correct. Yeah.
I think that's a lot of us have that same thing with Chicago some years.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
The last 2 years, Chicago has definitely been my got to build for, get done for that show specifically. Atlanta wasn't even that way for me. It was more Chicago for that in that aspect. So, but yeah,
Atlanta for me now, it kind of is. So
it will be now, especially for me this year. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm building for Atlanta in 2025. So,
And is Atlanta? What is in Atlanta? What event is in Atlanta?
it's Atlanta BrickCon, or Brick Fan Expo is the parent company. And it's the usually the second weekend in February. I want to say.
Is that President's Day weekend or?
It's usually been around Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
It
And
was
it's one
pretty
we
big.
all go to, man.
That's for sure. So,
Say it again, Chris.
it was pretty big this last year. I mean,
Oh yeah, no. Attendance has been. I think they sold out of tickets both Saturday and Sunday. So,
Yep.
and that's been for both the last 2 years.
the
they
last
sold
2
out.
years.
Yeah.
Last 3, they sold out before they moved over to the bigger
Oh, that's
venue
right.
too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we're supposed to be doubling the space, or not? I take it back. We're not doubling the space from this year, but we're doubling the space from the year prior. So we're still getting more and more space every year.
And they're still able to give us decent walkways, unlike a
Yes.
lot of conventions. Because a lot of conventions you get crammed in too close, and it's
Yeah.
frustrating.
Well, I heard, and because and we'll make this the last parting shot, is Steve was talking about he was surprised how long it was taking for Brickworld's map to come out, and it made sense to me because I had heard that they had sent out the call multiple times for people to relinquish space that they didn't need, because they were having even more of a crunch on space than they did last year.
I've heard there's more people this year than last year, and last year was record setting.
Correct. So it's going to be madhouse again with the amount of people in there displaying. So good stuff.
It was a record year last year for Brick Fair, and I can imagine it's only going to be as big or larger. Yeah.
I am anticipating that we will see first come, first serve or even lottery at some point in time, that they're going to have to start turning people away from being able to display because it's just inevitable.
I mean, as someone who often brings large things repeatedly to cons, I will be the first person to say that if they need to start squeezing, if they need to start being selective about who gets a show, I think it's reasonable to say that if you've shown something substantial at this event in the past, then perhaps you don't need to be the first person to do that again.
Correct.
I think, but yeah, it's.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but also at the same time, from a crowd point of view, and this is me as not being an AFL, this is me as just being Johnny on the spot, want to go walk in.
Right.
I would much rather see Jeff's large castle than an 8-year-old kid displaying a bunch of sets. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but if you've seen Jeff's large castle the last year or two, wouldn't it be better for the event that like you see someone else's large castle?
Kick them off.
But that's not
was wanting a large space. Sure.
Well, yeah. No, I mean quality counts. And
I mean, there's a lot of not
size,
quality things at events,
And that kind of lines in what I'm pointing out is it. Well, maybe not necessarily lottery, but you may need to get your mocks approved versus just saying, "Hey, I need this much table space," and then we just.
I think comes down to, hey, what are you bringing? What are you bringing? You bring something you've shown before? What is anything new? Yeah, I'm with Chris to some degree that. Yeah, there are repeat people who come to these shows year after year to view stuff.
I've done the same thing
on the weekends.
For the last 2 or 3 years, probably. I'm
no
different here. So,
but there's also new people who come walking in, never been to a Lego convention and to look at stuff, and the big things are impressive, and it either spurs them to come the next year or join a lug. So it's a really fine line between what you show, what you have shown,
and
it can empathize.
And unfortunately, I think that this may come down to a point in time where some people are going to get their feelings hurt at some point in time, or there's going to be some gatekeeping, or there might be some nepotism, or some, it's going to make things different where it might be more common to find some people saying, hey, I'm going to go to this show that's out of state, but I'm only going to display at my shows that are in state. We might see more of that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
I would be genuinely interested in polling attendees at these things, public attendees. Just what proportion of them have been to this event in the past, or how many people like go every year or have been there twice in the last 5 years, and how many people are there for the first time who haven't seen all the stuff that was there the year before.
That would be an interesting poll. That would be.
I'd like to think that I'm fairly observant of the people who walk by where I've set up, and I hardly ever see repeat people. There's always new people coming through. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, a few people I've seen before, and then at some point they become AFOLs or KFOLs, or TFOLs.
Which is probably more accurate than not, that if you see them more than once, it's because now they're displaying.
Yeah.
So, all right. I got Critters to feed, so I got to bail. But I will catch all of you guys Monday. Maybe we'll get to hear from Steve and Mayor and Chris, or not Chris, but whoever's going to be at Chicago. Maybe we'll have some people drop in and give us a recap on what they thought and saw at Chicago. So,
and we have sailed well past 9 o'clock, which is our usual end time. But we had a lot of good discussion tonight and heard from some of you guys that haven't been on the show for a little bit. So. We'll go ahead and wind everything down, but thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us, and thanks to everybody for good discussion and talking and stuff. And once again, we send our well wishes to Matthew, who is not feeling well tonight. We hope he has a speedy recovery. And Chris hasn't been with us because he's still house shopping, so we wish him the best of luck with that too. So may he have a large Lego room. And
he has officially sold a house, so that's a good thing.
He has, but they're house shopping in Charleston now. So, Anyway, have a good night, everybody. And as Chris would say, be awesome and build awesome, and have a great week. And we'll see you all next Monday. So
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.